All right. Hello and welcome, everyone. I'm your host, Ali, CEO and co-founder of Knowde, the leading digital customer experience platform for ingredients and chemicals. It's no secret that our industry is transforming right before our eyes. Companies are investing more than ever in digital capabilities. Software innovation is definitely changing the game. In this executive series, we get perspective on this topic through the lens of some of our industry's leaders. Our goal with this series is to share the perspectives you need to be able to navigate the changing landscape. We have an amazing guest with us here today. I'm thrilled to welcome today's guest, Carl Rush, who is leading a really cool company that I'm just getting to know. Carl is the co-founder and CEO of Viridis Chemical. Viridis is a leading producer of renewable and bio-based ethanol products. They want to transform the production of chemical commodities using ag feedstock rather than obviously oil, which obviously makes sense in Nebraska, which is abundant, abundant corn ethanol resources. I'm just getting to know Carl and his company, but I'm so glad that he's joining us today. Carl, most may have not heard about your company, so you want to give a little bit more context on yourself and Viridis?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Ali. I appreciate the opportunity to chat with you and to educate some folks about Viridis. Viridis is it's a facility that is based in Columbus, Nebraska, that takes corn ethanol and converts it to, in this case today, ethyl acetate. We have a proprietary catalytic process that converts the ethanol that's typically going into fuel blending into, as I say, ethyl acetate. Ethyl acetate is used globally for adhesives, paints, coatings, cosmetics, pharmaceuticals, etc. So it's a broadly used chemical that we're now making from a bio source.
Amazing. And you've been at it for how long?
We actually acquired this facility just about 2 years ago, and a little over 2 years ago, I guess. And we've been in production now for the last 7 months. We've made some modifications to the facility. We're able to get the facility started up late last year, and we are now in production and shipping product around the world.
Anything else you want to share about the traction of the company? Just because I personally found it.
Yeah, no, I think, Ali, this is the first of what will be a basket of products for us. We have another product that we'll be announcing shortly that is under development and engineering as we speak. The beauty part of both of these products, both the ethyl acetate and our second product, is our byproduct from these products is hydrogen. And so we will be using that hydrogen also. We make a lot of hydrogen, green hydrogen, as a part of this process. So we'll be using that product, that hydrogen as well, to launch a third product simultaneously with the startup of our second plant.
Fantastic. But also in Nebraska.
That's correct. Yeah.
Right. Okay, let's jump into our questions. We're going to change topics going into digital now. Okay. So I ask the same 3 questions of everybody that joins this podcast. These are the questions that are asked most often of us. And so great for folks to get your perspective.
Sure.
We're seeing a lot of suppliers increase investments in their digital capabilities, especially related to customer experience. Generally, suppliers are building capabilities related to organizing and digitizing their product catalogs, or helping increase their customer reach, or engaging more customers online. Where do you see the most significant opportunity for Viridis?
Yeah, so for us, as a fairly new company, right, as a new company shipping product, the digital space is basically a whiteboard. I mean, we are trying to approach it from all angles, quite frankly, because we think it can help us build awareness faster than traditional methods. When I say traditional methods, of traditional sales and marketing methods that have been used in the industry for years. And that's critical to us and critical to our messaging. It really allows us to introduce the product to the world. Like I say, this is a global product and we're shipping it globally. So it allows us to get broader reach quicker than one would typically see. And for our customer base, where we're the only bio-based low carbon alternative for this product, it allows us to educate the customers that otherwise would take a lot longer time. And so it's a combination of how we introduce that both digitally and through all the methods that we can use there, be it our website, be it some of the banner ads that we're running in different digital applications, or some of the, as you say, some of the catalogs and stuff that our product goes into.
Yeah, I mean, given that your scope is global and your markets are fairly fragmented, I would imagine there's a variety of different end uses for your products. It's so critical to build that top of the funnel digitally. Getting reach and awareness, like you said, is just so important, and digital is by far the easiest way to probably do that.
Yeah, I mean, to be perfectly honest, we could not afford to put a field sales team, both domestically and internationally, to support the activities as a startup entity, right? And so digitally, it allows you to expand that reach fairly dramatically.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I would imagine your customers, especially ones that are interested in your sort of products, are probably digital first anyway.
Exactly. Or if not, they soon will be.
Yeah. So, we hear from suppliers all the time, and we, see it firsthand that customer expectations are changing in our industry. Your customers' expectations are changing. What trends have you seen as you're getting the company off the ground related to digital expectations of your customers?
Yeah, I think in today's world, it goes without saying you've got to be in the digital space, because it's a different, face it, Ali, it's generational, right? There's a different type of consumer that's coming up through the rank and file of these companies. And to be perfectly honest, they do not want to have to go through a gatekeeper necessarily to get the information that they're looking for. And they want that access, they want access to the information free. And a lot of times they're doing it at midnight. Yeah, they're out looking for information, or doing it in times that were non-traditional times if you look at the old model. So I think the demands we see being placed on a company such as ours is you have to have that availability of information instantaneous and around the clock and around the globe. And so digitally, that's the only way you can deliver that. And quite frankly, we have, again, just being out of the starting gate here for about 6 or 8 months, we've been very surprised at some of the early results we're seeing on click-throughs on some of the ads and stuff that we are running, or some of the informational pieces we're putting out. And it's, if there's ever an indicator that you need to be in that space, it's when a company such as ours sees that kind of momentum or that kind of traction that they're getting from a simple banner ad, maybe.
Yeah, I think you said it very clearly at the top, which is that you never know when your customers are going to be interested in your products, when they're going to be researching your type of products. And if you don't have a presence and you're not there when they're in their buying journey, then you're not going to have a seat at the table later. Exactly. And you can't predict when these customers are going to need you, because they're just going to jump online and self-serve. And so if you're not there, then they're just going to find somebody else. And that's, I think, a key point that the industry is certainly waking up to.
Yeah, I think that's right. And as I said, they do not want to have to go through gatekeepers, right? I mean, they do not want to have to call somebody and listen to them drone on and on about something. They may have a very specific application or a very specific concept that they're researching, and they want to go straight to that and not have to go through that whole song and dance, so to speak.
So as you know, there's some market headwinds right now. I don't know how much it's impacting you guys, just because you're growing so well. But what advice would you give other leaders as they're attempting to balance, these short-term challenges with long-term investments, especially in tech?
Yeah, so I think that there's, you're right. There are some short-term headwinds. We see it. Everybody in the industry sees it currently. But from a digital aspect, you have to be making that investment today, because, as I said, as we've said earlier, you've got to have that presence and got to be there when the customer wants that availability. But more importantly, longer term, Ali, what I see, and it's by far not my forte, but what I see happening and developing is, quite frankly, I think you're going to start to see not only will customers sort of want to access that data or look at that data and information, but there's going to come a day when formulations and development work is going to be accomplished through AI. And then, quite frankly, AI will be out there doing the search and be compiling the data that needs to be compiled. And I think unless you're in that space, again, as you said earlier, you're going to be left without a seat at the table. And that's coming quicker than we probably anticipate, quite frankly. But if you think about the power that exists out there and the power that AI has to come up with formulations or to look at different opportunities for formulations and or development work, you have to be in that space, and you have to have your information available such that it can be used in that manner without any fault, because I think that ultimately is where the world goes, and that's a little scary in some cases, but it also means you've got to be prepared for that.
Things are certainly accelerating. There's no doubt about that. And I think, the next 5 years is going to be even fast. Obviously, it's going to be much faster than what's happened over the past 5. And, in our industry, because it's, kind of a hidden industry in the world, folks think that, tech isn't going to touch it nearly as fast as maybe some other verticals. And based on what we're seeing, that is definitely not the case. I mean, our industry will also get shaken by all of the new tech that's about to hit.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, traditionally, development work was always performed in the lab and done with some folks and with a bunch of equipment and analytical instruments, et cetera. When you think about what can be done, the power of computing and what can be assimilated that way now, going forward, it's going to be really interesting to see how that develops. And again, if your material is not available digitally, then you're going to be left out.
That's right. Well, look, thank you for the insights, Carl. Definitely appreciate it. Everyone loves listening to these sort of short, informal conversations with folks that are helping shape our industry. Thank you for doing everything that you're doing. It's an amazing company. Folks need to go check it out. I'm certain this conversation will get a lot of views. Thanks so much, Carl.
Thank you, Ali. Appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Take care.